So hi guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name remains Comfort Oladayo Adipero, and here with me is Faith again. As you guys have asked, I've brought her on board, and she has been saying people have been entering her DM to ask questions, and people have been asking questions about the visa application, and that's what we'll be talking about today. So kindly stay tuned and just wait to receive all the information she has prepared and kept. It's still hot for you guys. So we'll be right back. Welcome back. Without wasting time, I don't think we need much introduction, but yes, again, her name is Faith. So if you're here to watch the previous video where she talked about, studying specifically at the University of Luxembourg, I'm just going to put the video somewhere on top in this YouTube video when it's published there. And you could also check in the description box, or just check my page, just look for the Study in Luxembourg series, and you see every information you need to find out. So today we're talking about the visa application, and yes, Faith has graduated from the University of Luxembourg and she left Nigeria, so she definitely has all of this information in her hand. So
thank you.
So I don't know if you want to say anything before
No, it's fine.
Okay. So just to go straight to today's discussion without wasting time, the first question I'll be asking is what embassy do you have to go to? Do we have a Luxembourg embassy in Nigeria if you want to apply for study visa?
Okay, so basically the answer is no. We don't have a direct Luxembourg embassy in Nigeria, but because Luxembourg is among the Schengen area, and so we apply through one of the Schengen countries, because based on the fact that they know they don't have an embassy in Nigeria, they allow, but the only country they allow is Belgium. So you have to apply through the Belgium embassy, because from Belgium embassy you can come in through Luxembourg. So wherever you're applying your visa, you apply through the Belgium embassy, either in Lagos or in Abuja.
Yeah. Perfect.
So we don't have a direct embassy.
Okay, yeah. So for the visa application, I know if you're applying if you want to go to the UK, you first go to I think the UKVI websites where you fill in the application form. For I know Italy, the application form you have to print it out and write, then maybe scan or something. Then in addition to this, they used to have this third party organizations like CLS Contact, VFS Global, and all of that, depending on which country you're applying to. So how does it work for Luxembourg?
So like I said, we're applying to the Belgium, but basically we use the VFS Global from Nigeria. I think you just go to the site, which you just to have understand more information you might need. And you fill out the form, print out the form, fill it out, then you attach it with other documents we'll be stating out in this video. Then book an appointment on the day you should be to apply for your visa. Then go to either Lagos or Abuja with this document in its original form, then submit with your passport, because you have to drop your passport for your visa to be stamped on it. So you go to the VFS Global.
VFS Global. So it means on this VFS Global, you have access to information, including the documents you need, everything you need to bring to the embassy.
And I also advise you when you probably type VFS Global Luxembourg, so they will give you information specifically to Luxembourg. So you might have more information about it.
Okay, that's perfect. So I was going to ask that for the visa application fee, I know sometimes Nigeria have issues with this payments and foreign exchange payment limits, on our cards and all of that. How were you able to bypass that?
So basically,
does it affect?
So basically on the site they will tell you, visa application is maybe 60 euros or in equivalent. But while I was applying for I paid in Naira. I just used my card. I can't remember specifically, but I think I paid in the Belgium embassy using my debit card. I didn't have to use my debit, so they had to debit me around approximately 100K or something. So I think you can either do transfer or debit card, but it all depends on Nigeria current state and policy of probably just on transfer, or you will have to go to a bank and they'll give you the bank details. But using euro accounts was not an issue for me, and I don't think it should be an issue.
So more of you were charged in Naira. You didn't have to
I was charged in Naira. So probably it was 60 or 100 euro. Then I was giving debited in Naira equivalent.
Yeah, that's perfect. So thank you very much. So the main stuff now. So if you're applying for visa, what are these key documents that you'll be needing for visa application?
Okay, I would say the document or the process for Luxembourg study visa application actually requires you to apply for a temporary authorization to stay. And this, once you apply, and you're applying to Luxembourg, first of all, this temporary authorization to stay. Then once this temporary authorization to stay is issued and is sent to you by post to Luxembourg, we'll talk more deeply about the authorization to stay, but you need to apply for it first. And once this document is issued to you in Nigeria, you attach this authorization to stay with other documents which will be used to process your visa in Nigeria using the Belgium embassy.
Okay, so like these other documents are like maybe your passport, right?
Yes. So this other document we have so your two recent passports, your valid passport, then we have I think also we need your international passport, like I said, your proof of travel insurance, and also this authorization to stay attached with the VSF application form.
That you filled.
Yes. Yeah. Also, you can also attach a criminal record because you also need the criminal record for your authorization to stay, but just to give them more information, not to be denied or called back or say the document is missing, just attach the travel insurance, criminal record, and attach with the VSF form.
More like you can just maybe like put some of those documents you use to get your temporary.
Thank you. Yes, yes. So basically, you majorly need this for the authorization to stay, but you can also attach it for your visa just to avoid any form of discrepancy or say maybe inadequate information or documents and all. But the major one I would say is your two recent passport, valid international passport, your travel insurance, and also your authorization to stay attached with the application form you got from your VSF global site.
That's perfect. So this temporary authorization, like to stay in Luxembourg, how do you get it? Who issues it? Is it through like the university, or how exactly? And what is the process like? What documents do you need to like provide, and all of that?
Okay, so basically this authorization to stay is issued to a non-EU or its own nationals, right? So you're applying to the ministry. Yes, applying to the ministry, and this is done once you're giving your admission. On your admission portal, you have a site. On your admission letter, you have a site you go through from your admission letter telling you what next to do. So you apply, and they have a deadline for you to apply for. Everything is on your admission letter because the deadline must have changed, and I don't want to give you something probably it has changed within the course of 2 years. But there's a deadline for you to apply for your authorization to stay. And once you click on the link, you'll go to the site where it will take you to, or they'll prefer to drop the link also where you can read more about authorization to stay. Once you go to the link, you apply for authorization to stay, and the document you use in applying for a authorization to stay, like I said, is for third nationals or a non-EU member. The documents required, you need a copy of your valid passport in its entirety. What I mean, photocopying the front, the back, every single page. So if it's 32 pages, photocopying 32 pages. And if it's 64, if it's 64, that's why they say in its entirety. Because when I first read it, I was like, so that's this copy. So that's when I realized that in its entirety means every single pages, like you're reading. So where also you need a criminal record where you get from Nigeria, a criminal police record stating that you are free from every form of harassment.
I think I remember getting that once when I was trying to apply to Hungary. There was one scholarship I was applying then. I needed to submit like a criminal record. So you can just go to Ikoyi if you're in Lagos.
Yes. Yeah. So you get your criminal record, and also you need your proof of fund. Then I'll dive into the proof of fund and like maybe the rules and regulations of proof of fund. You need your proof of fund, and also you need or they said parental authorization if you're below 18, and I think in the Nigerian system nobody should be below 18 apply for a master's degree, but probably you're coming for bachelor's maybe, and you're below 18, so you need your parental authorization. Then you need your health insurance or travel insurance, because most people can also use travel insurance, right? You need your travel insurance, and where necessary, power of attorney. That one is just saying that, like I think in the previous video I said something about, because this authorization to stay is sent to you directly to the post. So when you're done uploading all of these documents, or when they ask you to upload all of these documents I listed out, once you verify and it's authentic and everything, they send you the authorization to stay via Nigerian post. So it's coming from Luxembourg to post. It's not an online document because they want you to have it in its original state, right? So when you need a power of attorney, is the point maybe you don't want a stationery by Nigerian post takes more than a month. So because I remember mine was sent to a wrong address, and for like 2 months I was looking for my I made a mistake. No, I didn't make a mistake my address, but I made an incomplete address where I was supposed to put something to show that this is my local government. I did not, so they took it to another local government. So I took like 2 months looking for my own authorization to stay. So if you want to avoid those issues, you can use power of attorney. So somebody in Luxembourg can represent somebody in Luxembourg to help you get the letter, so the person can send it to you directly to Nigeria rather than using Nigerian post, whereby DHL comes faster and comes like faster and easier for you to reach to get your letter, basically.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you very much. You mentioned like some of the documents you've been needing for the do you want to like speak about that in details like now for the temporary
Okay, I think I said that one, but the only one I would like to say in details is just the proof of fund, and I think you have that as a question.
As a question.
Okay. So that's the proof of fund, But do you want me to like state the document again? Like all the documents?
Okay. But you said it's going to be on the admission letter.
Yes, I'm going to share the link, so because I can see it. Yeah, so
Okay, that's fine.
yeah,
So we can just put a link there. So I'm
yeah,
going to
it's
cut
just the
that part.
proof of form I would deep dive because there's something that I need to explain basically.
Okay. So for this whole visa application, whether the temporary authorization to stay or the one that you go to VFS Global, is there anything like interview attached to this?
Okay, like for me, I like giving disclaimer because things change over time, right? For me, while I applied 2 years back, there was no interview. That was last year, people that came in, there was no interview. So hopefully there won't be interview, but I will say there is no interview, except things change, but there is no interview.
But I'm sure the information should be on the website though.
Yeah, even if they want to change anything. But as at when I did mine and the last set that came in, there was no interview. Just go to the embassy, submit your documents with your passport, go to your house and pray to God.
Yeah, that's actually very important. So like one of the questions people have been asking is like the proof of fund and all. So I would love to ask that things could have changed for the whole currency exchange. A dollar is over 1,000 naira now, and it was different 2 years ago and all that. But can you like just share about like what you think should be done concerning the proof of fund? If there's like a website that states that okay, for you to come to Luxembourg to study, you need so amount, maybe in euros per year, depending on your course, or I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so there is a site also, it's going to be on the link, right, where you have this proof of fund, and on the site it stated saying for the proof of fund, it's a proof of sufficient resources to cover the living expenses and return travel costs. The monthly resources must amount to at least 80% of the current social inclusion income, right? So the proof of fund necessarily does not have to just be money in your bank account. It can come as a form of scholarship or student loan, then can come as a form of your bank statements. So probably you are giving scholarship, you can just attach it, right? Or you have a bank loan, just attach it, or your bank statement. So that's where the proof of fund can come in. So the 80%, at least 80% of the current social inclusion income. Now, from the link, you can click on that to know what is Luxembourg current social inclusion income does. So they're telling you that at least have 80% of it. And they said certain third country nationals are only allowed to stay in Luxembourg if they have sufficient resources amounting to at least 80% of the social inclusion income. Now, as at 1st of January 2020, the amount was 1,201 euro per month for an adult, right? So now what you will do is we are using this to multiply by 12, right? We just assume you're doing 1 year, then multiply by 80%. But personally, because of how the Naira fluctuates against the euro, like the euro Naira, our advice you go beyond 80%. And this is me stating because I remember last year, like last set where they came, this was when Nigeria just had their election where the new government came in, the Naira depreciated like highly against the euro. So people that, okay, let's assume people that had 20 million in their accounts, thinking it was going to fly based on their calculation, when the Naira depreciated against the euro, people's money became like 10 million, 11 million. So they were not given, they were denied.
Wow.
Yes, they were denied. As at 1st of January 2020, the amount is 1,201 per month. So you multiply this by 12 to get your proof of fund. Then, although they said 80%, but for personally, I would advise you go 110, 150 if possible. If you have the means and the resources, go 200. So to just know that you have like sufficient money to fund for yourself. Also, the required month to be 12 months minimum backwards. So you need to show 12 months record that you've had this money consistently for like 12.
Like a bank statement.
Bank statement, they are showing 12 months record. And then, and also, if you're not using either the bank loan or the scholarship and you're using like your bank statement, you can use your bank statement or your parent bank statements. And once you're using your parent bank statement, you need to prove that your parents, probably your birth certificate. Because I remember when I applied using my dad's account, they actually had to send me a message again saying I should send a proof that my dad is my dad. So I had to send my birth certificate. My birth certificate showing that that's my son with my dad. So before then, once you're using your parents or your parents, I would advise you attach your birth certificate or any other documents linking your father is your real father, your biological father, just to show.
Or even if it's your guardian, maybe a reference.
Yes. Okay, maybe I'll just say I would advise you use your guide like your parents. You can use your guardian, but I would say it's safer using your parents. You have the same surname and the same family relationship. So I think it's safer using that as your proof of fund. And also you can use sponsors in any EU country.
Oh.
Yeah. Because the thing is, even I don't know, even if they're not your parent or something, but if they are sponsored because they believe that in EU, they can verify their information rather than in Africa or in Nigeria. So even if you're using a sponsor in Luxembourg, you have to verify. Along the course of you staying in Luxembourg, the person has to be sending you on a monthly basis or maybe quarterly, or just to show that the person is really taking care of you or the person is really your sponsor.
For the bank statement, is it like the closing accounts, the closing amounts in the bank account, or just like outflow, inflow? Or the money has to be there.
Money has to be there. Outflow, inflow.
Outflow and inflow too. Or
bank
like
statement shows your debit and credit. If it's for 1 year, so it shows what has been coming in, what has been going
exactly. Like, does the closing balance has to be that amount too? Or it's just like, oh, maybe 20 million is coming, 150 million is going out, all those kind of things. Or like,
okay, yeah, it can be like, oh, money came in today, money went out, but let your sum, whatever is the asset that date you're printing
in
it out,
that account.
Yes, in that account, show that you have that amount once you have done your calculation. So let us be using 20 million. Let it show, like, even if it's 20 million and some thousands, or let it show
let it be there.
The amount is there.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and I would also say, I don't know if this also applies to Luxembourg, but I feel like it's just general, because I also interviewed someone for Italian visa application, and it's the same proof of fund issue. And the person was like saying that they would also consider maybe like your family members.
You prefer your family members.
20 million, they will want to think of the fact that you're not the only child that your parent has. So if you think 20 million is the amount you need, it's advisable to even have way more than 20 million, even aside from like exchange currency, because except you're the only child, then it's not a problem. But if you have like 4 siblings,
well, I don't know if they really state, if they really check if you have siblings, because I know some people that use their personal accounts.
Yeah, true.
That people, because, and I think when you're using your personal account, it's just 6 months, but I don't want to be sure. I don't want to give that information, because I've seen it, like when your account or your parent, and your parent is, they put in bracket 12 months. They say your bank statement in bracket 6 months, and
6 months.
Yes, family account.
If it's your personal bank account, you are not probably sharing the money with anybody. It's just your money.
But even if it's your parent, I don't think they'll not start asking you a question about how many siblings you have.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
I doubt they just want to know the relationship between your father and your mother. And that was what they asked me. I should send and I sent my birth certificate, and birth certificate was sufficient for them proving that my father was my father.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you so much, Faith.
You're welcome.
And I think you answered all the old questions about who can act as sponsors. Okay, what tip can you share concerning presenting proof of fund? I think you mentioned that maybe you can just emphasize on the originality of proof of fund. Okay.
So for me, the advice I would give for proof of fund is, because they verify your proof of fund. So your proof of fund needs to be authentic, right? It needs to be authentic to show. Also, you need to show that it's legal, and you also need to show that there's a relationship between you and your parent, or maybe you have a sponsor in EU country. But if any sponsor outside of your country, any sponsor outside of your parents, I advise you use an European sponsor, because any sponsor outside of that is not your parent and is in Nigeria, I don't think they really have.
They had to prove.
Yes, they have to prove that you have a real relationship with them. But if it's an EU and they're not even your parent, they can still verify. So I would say you need to give an authentic proof of fund, basically. So that's it. And also give more than 80% of that. Give as higher, because you don't know how the current, because when they are checking your proof of fund, they're using the prevailing market price as they're checking. So just imagine when you were putting was around, let's use 1,000 naira. And then you were able to prove 20 million, which is like above 80%, exactly 80% of it. Then when they were checking euro to naira is now 1,500, it will reduce drastically. Drastically, it's going to reduce. So our advice also, don't go with 80%. Our advice, you go, if you have the funds, go as high as 150% of the social inclusion policy they use, which is as of 1st of January was 1,201. So before you are doing that, you need to check, probably they must have reviewed social inclusion income, because this was done as at since 2020, 1st of January 2020, and maybe they might not change it anytime soon, but just to check and know that
just verify.
Just to verify.
So the link will be in the description box, definitely, so you can check and do your own personal research. Thank you so much, Faith. And how long does it take to get like the visa after you have submitted your passport, and even the temporary authorization stuff? So how long does it take for them to like process that? Because that's like a temporary visa. And you also mentioned that if you have that, it is like the main thing before you go to VFS. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll use myself and my friend as a typical example, so you understand the duration, because I can't remember. So when my friend got admission in May, right, and I think she applied almost immediately. Let me say, assume she applied in May, and she got her authorization to stay within June, July. So let's just assume all things being equal, right? 2 months. All things being equal.
2 months.
Let me say June. All things being equal, 2 months. Because let's say 1 month, because I think I got mine in July because of the delay, the change of my address, and the whole me looking for it everywhere. I got mine in July and stuff like that. So let's just say all things being equal, maximum 2 months.
Yeah.
But for the visa, within a month, because I think I got my own within the 3rd week.
Okay.
Somebody just called me, logistics just called me. Really? The next stamp is, can you check?
Yeah, I really hope you guys also receive your good news even after watching this video. Grace.
Grace.
Grace. Okay.
But I think I'm trying to get your visa, your passport.
Yeah, really.
Because then your head, you're like, yeah, like being tense, actually. That's the truth, because the thing of joy. Because I remember I was in the market when they just called me. I was already buying my stuff because they applied the stamps for two of my friends that I know.
So you had faith.
Yeah, so I remember that I was in Eco Markets when I was buying via my stuff, and they
took the step of faith.
Actually, that was actually the truth. I was my friend when they called me. I was like, oh, I had to tell him to drop it with somebody that day. I want him to take it back. Like, hey, don't take my good news back. Drop my good news to me. All right,
that's really good. That's good. Thank you. So, I was also going to ask that in case there's like I don't know if it's going to be visa now or the temporary authorization to stay, because I think that's kind of like, I don't want to say the most important, but it's like a key one, a key document.
Exactly. So that we are giving you temporary authorization access to our country, and that is what you're using to apply for your visa.
Apply for the visa.
Apply for visa, yeah. So, without that, when you can apply for your visa, yeah.
Yeah, so let's say maybe I don't know if there's a rejection, if it's something like you get rejected, or how do you know if you're not going to receive the temporary authorization to stay? So let's say maybe like there's a rejection. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Definitely did not experience that.
Yeah, I didn't experience it because they didn't reject me. Yeah,
but let's say maybe if you won't be getting the documents, would they tell you that, oh, you have been denied?
Yeah.
Or, and if you have been denied, is there like a way to like appeal again?
Yes. So basically, I didn't experience it, but based on from few people, like when for the new set of people where some people were rejected, and I think they gave them the reason why they were rejected. Some people said they could not prove the authenticity of the proof of fund. Most of them because of proof of fund. So people that were able to scale through was people that had scholarship. And those people that had scholarship were able to scale through, right? So people that like probably use their parent or their bank statement, some of them were rejected because of the proof of fund, and some of them were below the 80% of because of the euro to dollar reduced drastically. So it affected their proof of fund. So once you're being rejected, they'll send you an email that you're being rejected and they'll give you the reason. Once you're rejected, you can go for your first appeal. Even if they reject you in the first appeal, you can go for that to your second appeal. Yeah, so you can appeal. But I don't know for people if it actually works, but there's an avenue or there's an opportunity for you to appeal. Yeah. First and second.
Something came to my mind now. For this, to apply for this temporary, although you already mentioned that the information will be on your admission letter and all of that, but do you have to pay for it?
Authorization to stay? No, you're just submitting documents.
You're just submitting. Okay.
Documents. Yes. You're just submitting the document I listed earlier.
All right. Thank you very much, Faith. And there's one last question I'll be asking. I don't know. This might help someone. It was just when I was doing like my personal research on the website for like the admission process, and I saw something about recognition or accreditation of higher degree. Like, could you shed more light on this? Like, do you need this for the temporary authorization to stay on your visa application also? How do you get it?
Okay, so basically this one you don't need it for 8 years or your visa or something like that, because on my admission letter is stated like on my admission letter the deadline for you to apply for authorization to stay is 1st of July, right? Then application for this recognition and accreditation of your diploma, the deadline is 1st of October, right? So because I have somebody here that was in Luxembourg that was giving me information, so he personally told me that I should not bother about that. I can apply for that when I come to Luxembourg, because the deadline was 1st of October, and I came to Luxembourg in September, so I had like almost a month to apply. But like what from the site, Comfort is going to drop the link from the site is stated explicitly. They stated it is advisable for you to apply for this from your home country, because if they deny you this accreditation, you cannot still go for your classes. So you have to now return back to your home country. But for me, a few of my friends, we did it in Luxembourg for this accreditation. So you can go through the link you see.
To check
it's very easy. Well, it's just your transcript, your CV, motivation letter. You are attaching it, and you are paying about 75 euros for the application of it. So it's advisable you do it when you're in Nigeria, right? But for me personally, I'm saying this is me personally, I did my while I was in Luxembourg here. So that's the accreditation. So it's not really attached to your visa. It's not attached to your authorization to stay. It's not attached to you getting admission. It's a process on its own before you can resume your classes.
Mm. Okay, that's clear enough. I was just thinking if it's like, Italy, where you have to do the whole legalization, translation, and education before you can apply for visa and all of that. I guess it's
No. It's something on its own. Please note that your completed application file for authorization to stay as a student must reach the Ministry of Foreign and European Affairs, blah blah blah, by 1st of July 2021 at the latest. Thus, we recommend that you make your application as soon as possible. Now, if you miss this deadline, we'll be obliged to cancel your conditional place at your university. As soon as you receive your authorization to stay, you must submit to the ministry. You must submit to the Ministry of Higher Education Research an application for registration in the Register of Titles of your higher educational diploma, giving access to students leading to a master's degree, not later than 1st of October 2021. Then attach you find details of the procedures related to.
So when you get admission, all of this will be there. Then it's kind of easy, right, to move from
Yes.
there.
Once you get your admission letter, because now from the university diploma and higher, they sent me a link. That was why I got the link of what I was looking for. They sent me there are several links and other information. I think it's like a 8-page admission letter. 4 pages actually. 4 pages. So there's that's one thing about Luxembourg, and I give them credit for that. They are detail oriented. You will not be totally confused about what next. Although some new things will be some things will be new to you, sometimes will be new to you, and some process. But this if you take your time, read it, you can navigate your way around the whole process. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So that's
perfect. So Faith will be sharing some links that might be useful. Even if you don't have admission, just keep yourself familiar with some of this information and just know what's it's about and all. And you shouldn't pressure yourself too much. Get the admission first, and also work on your ATS and every other thing that's in it. And the funny thing is, call for admissions. I don't think it's open. It's till next year. February. You can start applying. February. Yeah, that's true. So but just prepare your documents. Go back to the previous video and check what you need to prepare. Every information is available. Just watch. Yeah. So thank you so much, Faith, for sharing your time with us again and for this sacrifice. God bless you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to share my experience in Luxembourg.
And yet again, people would ask us, share your contacts. As I would say, reach out to her on LinkedIn, and that's the best place you can reach out.
Bonnet Queen Faith.
Bonnet Queen Faith is a name. Bonnet Queen Faith is a name, and thank you so much, Faith, and I hope we don't have to bring you back again.
Hopefully. Thank you so much, Ms. Conference.
And if there is any need, we'll try to, but I think for now, things should be perfectly set.
And also they can also drop questions you usually do.
Use the comment section, and don't forget to don't forget to share the video to someone, and subscribe, spread the good news. Don't just hoard all this information to yourself. And also, until we meet again, do stay comforted. Ciao.
And be out of your comfort zone.